We are in Sidur Zichron Dovid in page 113. Okay? And we have here, we spoke about the Emet Veyatziv. So I'll just say it over again. That whoever is missing the Shliach Tzibur, when the Shliach Tzibur is saying Hashem Elokeichem Emet, second time, that's supposed to have the complete 248 words of the Kriyat Shema, that it will correspond to the 248 organs, parts of the body. So what do you do when you miss it? So the Zohar Chadash Root brings this thank you very much, brings this tikkun for that, of the vavs of the Emet Veyatziv and so on. Yeah. So we have here ויציב ונכון וקיים וישר ונאמן ואהוב וחביב ונחמד ונעים ונורא ואדיר ומתוקן ומקובל וטוב ויפה. That's 15 vavs plus 1 hay of hadavar. Altogether it comes to the gematria of 90, which is tzaddik, right? And these 90 correspond to the 9 sfirot of Zeir and Pil. Why you have 9 sfirot and not 10? Because the 10th is the Malchut, which is the feminine aspect, right? So is 9 sfirot. Each one of the 9 have 10 sfirot inside, so altogether is 90, right? Good. So now, after we did this tikkun, we have emet for every elevation, right? Every time we're saying emet, we take another step, right? So you have here the first one, emet Elokei Olam Malkeinu. So what is the meditation here? Elevate your neshama to the room of Hod of Tiferet of Bria, right? Then the second emet, room of Netzach of Tiferet of Bria. Then third emet, room of Tiferet Gvura, Chesed of Tiferet of Bria. Then we have Azrat Avotenu. So here you have also the visual illustration of the meditation, right? Why? Because we're going up from the Tiferet to the Kodesh Kodashim, right? So until now, all of that was within the Tiferet, which is the Ratzon. Now, in Azrat Avotenu, we're moving from the Tiferet, which is the chamber of Ratzon, up to the Kodesh Kodashim, which is Koter Chochma Bina Dat. Yeah? And then, we're getting to Tehilot Lekel Elyon, which is already like preparation for the elevation of the Amidah. And we got to Ga'al Israel. Right? This is the end of this part of the prayer, from the Kriyat Shema to the Amidah. So what happened here? What happened here? We had a whole elevation, right, within the world of Bria. When we got to the chamber of Hod, we had the Kedusha of the Bria. When we got to the chamber of Ahava, which is Chesed, we said the Kriyat Shema. Then after that, after Ahava, we have the chamber of Ratzon, which is Tiferet, and then we're getting to Kodesh Kodashim, which is the last station within the Bria, and then we're getting to Gal Israel, which is the transformation to the world of Atzilut, which is the next world up. Okay?
What's the implication of Lad, of letting go of the tzitzis, this moment? This was right now, or that was before?
That was before. I didn't discuss it.
Okay.
There's I don't have much to say about it. We just like the whole thing of that happened with that we spoke about the tzitziot, that we started from the back and we moved to the front. So in that point, it's already becomes to be minor, because we are within that process of elevation to get up to that Atzilut, and that will be a whole new section. So just leave it and moving to the next thing. Anyhow, there's definitely a lot to speak about within the transformation from the world of Bria to the world of Atzilut. Okay? Why? Because that's something else from what we had until now. When we're moving from the world of Asiyah to the Yetzirah, from the Yetzirah to the Bria, that's one thing. But from the Atzilut from the Bria to the Atzilut, that's a different thing. Why? Because those three worlds of Asiyah, Yetzirah, and Bria, that goes levels upon levels within the three worlds, that is called Bia de Peruda. Okay? Bia of the separation. Now, the Atzilut is unity. The quality of Atzilut is unity. So when we get into the Atzilut, that should be our main focus. Okay? That we are getting into a place of unity. One of the applications, one of the things that we see that is different, that we don't have all of those chambers, right? All of this elevation that we did until the Atzilut, within the Atzilut we don't have those chambers, right? Why we don't have chambers within the Atzilut? Because the whole world of Atzilut is one big unity. Yeah? So there's no separation. So if we gave this parable when we started the elevation with the chambers, we spoke about getting from one chamber to another, like room within a room, within a room, within a room, but it's all one level, right? And then we're going to the next level of Yetzirah, next level of the Bria. So now we have a level which is the Atzilut, which is one big hall. Yeah, it's not divided to rooms. Okay.
Yehidah, we don't get to the Yehidah during Amidah. We don't say that.
We are that's our goal. Our focus is to connect to the tip of the Yud, to the Yehidah. But are we getting there? I don't know. Depends who. That's all the shame. We hope to get there. But the point is that to have the desire to connect. That's like a big thing. Anyhow, the words Ga'al Israel, what is the literal translation of Ga'al Israel? Redeem Israel, right? So who is Israel that got redeemed? You can say within ourselves, yeah? Our nefesh, ruach, neshama, that got that elevation through those worlds. And you can say, this is the Zeir and Pin, that all of this elevation, it was us and Zeir and Pin getting the elevation, right? So we're getting to that highest point of the beginning of the Atzilut, the gateway to enter the world of Atzilut. And that will be the redemption, right? From here we can understand a little bit of what does it mean, redemption, right? Ga'al Israel is redemption. So we are transforming into a new dimension of unity, of connection, right? Good. So now here within this quite a long introduction that we have for the Amidah, we have a few points to meditate on. Okay, so the first thing is what I said before, that we are elevating the lower worlds of Asiyah, Yetzirah, and Bria to the Atzilut, and with the Atzilut we want to connect everything to the tip of the Yud, right? Which is the Adam Kadmon, Yehidah, and so on, as you have in the beginning chart, in the beginning of the Siddur. That's one thing. Another thing is that we have important meditation, that is the meditation of the bowing down and straightening within the Amidah. Okay, why is it so important? So we can discuss that for a long time. It's a very big subject matter. Okay, but first of all, to prove my point that it is very important, so I will quote you a little phrase that the Rashash said in one of his letters that he sent to the sages in Tunisia. So they told him all kinds of questions about all kinds of kavanot, and when he wrote them back, he wrote, I know that you rabbis know and make the meditations of the Chirot v'Skifot, the bowing down and straightening up, and probably more than that you do, but just to clarify that this is the foundation of everything. Like the bowing down and straightening within the Amidah 4 times is something that is very, very crucial. Okay? And you see that there's many discussions about it. Also in the Gemara, also in the Halacha, how to do it, who's supposed to do it, the differences between a regular person and Kohen Gadol and a king and each one. Like, there's many discussions about like when sometimes you're not allowed to do that. There's many things. So what is that all about? So here in this introduction I gave like a certain understanding of that, which is the connection of the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei and the Adni, right? So we have 4 times bowing down and straightening, right? In the beginning of the Amidah, called it Baruch. In the end of the first blessing, it's called Magen Avraham. In the beginning of Modim, right? Modim is the third one. And Atov Shimcha Ulechana Eladot in the end of that blessing, right? So those 4 times within the Amidah, these correspond to the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei and Adni. So every time we are bowing down, we are meditating generally on Zeir and Pin, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, that elevates the Adni, elevates the Malchut. And every time we are straightening up, so we think about that Adni get that elevation. So in other words, all of the Amidah, all of the prayer, is we're walking our way to get to unity, right? What is the place of that unity? Is in the end of the prayer, Sim Shalom, when we're finishing, right? So within all of the prayer, all of the Amidah, the part that is the most significant preparation for that unity is those bowing down and straightening up. Okay? How so? Because if there's still a separation, so obviously it's a contradiction for unity, right? So if Nukba, if the feminine aspect of Adni is still found lower, is not there with Zeir and Pin within the Atzilut, so they won't be able to unite, right? So they have to unite. So that's why we have to meditate on how the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is elevating the Adni. So instead of just reading here, I want to look with you on that point, okay? And another day we'll read all of those halachot and so on. I just want to have this point that it will be clear. So look with me in page 120. You see Baruch Atah, you have Yud Aleph. What is the Yud Aleph? mediate that the Yud brings up the Aleph. Which Yud and Aleph? So you have the Yud and Aleph of the Yud Kei Vav Kei and Adni combined. The Yud and Aleph is big and bold, right? That's the first bowing down and straightening up, right? Then move to page 122 for the Baruch Atah Hashem Magen Avraham. So again, you have Baruch Atah, mediate the Hey of the Yud Kei Vav Kei, bring up the Daled, right? So you have the Hey and the Daled bold and bigger. See that? Now flip the pages all the way down to Modim. That will be page 145. Modim Anachnu Lach. So also there you have made it that the Vav brings up the Nun, right? Shatau Hashem, you see that? So you have the Vav and the Nun, bold, bigger. Then next page, 147. Baruch Atah Hashem. The Hey brings up the Yud, right? The last beat. The Hey of the Yud Kei Vav Kei with the Yud of the Adni, right? Atov Shimcha U'Lecha Na'el Hodot. Then, after we did all of this preparation, then in the next bracha of Sim Shalom, look in page 150. So you have the full unity. Yeah, Baruch Atah Hashem Mevarech et Amo Yisrael B'Shalom. That's the full unity there. Yeah, you have the Yud Kei Vav Kei with Ekeye, Yud Kei Vav Kei with Elokim, and Yud Kei Vav Kei with Adni. This is the full unity of Zun, of Zir and Pin Nukma. Okay? So, that is very, very critical point. That's why from all of the different meditations, I decided that we'll focus on that today. Okay? And I want to add on top of that, just a little baracha here. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen.
So what I want to add is what is the meaning of that process for us? What is the meaning of that process for us? So we know that all of those different concepts that we have within the Kabbalah, it's all related with the inner parts of our being, right? So within our being, we have the part that is elevated, right? So when we say Gal Israel, we have a part within us that is getting to the Atzilut. And we have other parts within us that unfortunately they don't have so much inspiration, they don't have so much elevation, and they stay on a lower level, right? So here with this meditation we can use that opportunity to meditate how we are uniting those parts that we have within ourselves. So we have those parts that are elevated, that will be manifest in the letters of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. And we have the parts that stays lower, and that will manifest within the letters of the Adni. So when we are meditating on the way that the Yud Kei Vav Kei brings up the Adni, this is our opportunity to bring together those lower parts that are not elevated within ourselves, and to give them that elevation, to bring them to that point of unification. obviously, it needs a lot of work of self-awakening to really get that done. Okay? And it's not something that is happening like by the way when someone is not focusing and just saying over the words of the prayer. So we want to do it properly. We have to give it the time that it's needed to meditate on those concepts and to see how much time and effort and meditation we need to get something moving. Okay? Many people, they are complaining that they are not feeling anything. They want to feel something from all of those meditations and so on and so forth. But a very key point for having any experience, to have any feeling there, is to give it the time that it needs, that it will get to that point. Okay? When you're trying to rush things, you can't expect that something will really move, something will really get effective. Right? There's a famous story that they say about like two Mekubalim, that one was asking the other, like, I'm also doing meditation, so why for you it takes like a whole hour and for me it takes like 10-15 minutes? So he told him, for you think about going to the market and coming back, and for me I'm really going to the market and come back. So it takes time to go and to come back, it takes me time. So the same thing like with all the meditations. To just like think about it, that's what happens now, so you can do it in like a split of a second. If you're getting used to that and trained to that for, so it doesn't take long. But to really be there and give it the time that it needs to affect, so then it takes time. And that's something that is like a life project, to get all of those things in the right timing. Anyhow,
when it says meditate, the yud is bringing up the aleph. Do you meditate before you actually say the Likutey Moharan, or do you do it at the same time when you're
the same time
as you're saying it?
Preferably at the same time.
Or sometimes, if you can't do it at the same time, afterwards. Just pause and say it.
Yeah. Preferably in the same time, and if not, so then there's a discussion what is preferable, to do it before or after. There is, I think we discussed about it, but there is Mekubalim that they say that whatever you didn't manage, so you didn't manage. There is Mekubalim that says that after you finish the word, so it's already gone. You have to move ahead. So if you want to make a preparation with meditation, you have to do it before that. And there is opinion that says that after you said the word, you can continue to meditate on that point until you're deciding to move on. So there's three possibilities there. Anyhow, let's do the meditation in page 118. Okay, in the top of the page. Meditate to connect your heart into Eretz Yisrael, Yerushalayim, Bet HaMikdash, and Kodesh Kodashim. Imagine yourself standing there for your prayer. So this is a little interpretation of something that you see in many Sidurim, right? It says in the Halacha, wherever you are in the world, you have to face Eretz Yisrael. Wherever you are in Eretz Israel, you have to face Yerushalayim. Wherever you are in Yerushalayim, you have to face Bet HaMikdash. Wherever you are in the Bet HaMikdash, you have to face Kodesh Kodashim. So basically, all of the prayers of all of Am Yisrael is pointing that center point of Kodesh Kodashim. Okay, that's brought down in the Gemara, in the Halacha, and many Sidurim. The point that I want to say here is that it's not only about our physical location, it's also very important our spiritual location. So our spiritual location, as if we are coming from outside of Eretz Israel. Right? What is outside of Eretz Israel is the lower worlds of Bria, Yetzirah and Asiyah. And we're coming into the Atzilut. Right? So that will be Eretz Israel. And we are pointing within to Yerushalayim. So that's the center point, right? The heart. And within Yerushalayim to the Bet HaMikdash, to the peak, the most holy. Right? And within the Bet HaMikdash, we want to connect to the deepest point that is within the heart of everything. That's the Kodesh Kodashim. Okay? And if you want, you can continue. What do you have within Kodesh Kodashim? You have the Aron HaKodesh, right? The Holy Ark. What do you have on the Holy Ark? You have the Kruvim. What do you have between the Kruvim? That's the place between the two Kruvim. That's the place that Moshe Rabbeinu heard the voice of Hashem coming out from. Okay.
The place between the two angels facing each other is where?
On top of the Ark.
And that's where Moshe Rabbeinu heard
the voice of Hashem. When he heard the voice of Hashem, it came out from this point. Okay, so this is where we should focus on. This is the place of the connection. Okay, so we spoke about the connection all the time, right? Looking for the connection. We don't know. It's not enough just to have a connection today. Have to be like high speed. Have to be very like stable connection, right? That will get all the we'll get the best signal that we can upload and download and get all the abundance going, right? Moving.
What's Peshat in imagining that we're in the Kodesh Kodashim if we're not really allowed to be there?
Oh, so very important point. Our physical body is not allowed to be there, right? First of all, we are not Kohanim. Secondly, we are not pure, and so on and so forth. But this is in the physical realm. But in the spiritual realm, you can be pure, you can be Kohen. You have those parts within you. So you just have to activate those parts within you. Yeah? The Arizal, for example, it explains like that every person has to do all of the mitzvot to complete himself, right? If you didn't do all the mitzvot, you have to come back another lifetime, reincarnation, to fulfill all of the mitzvot that are missing.
But how are you supposed to do all the mitzvot if you don't have to pay some?
A very good question. How can I do all the mitzvot? I'm not a Kohen. Most of the mitzvot, vast majority, is to do with Bet HaMikdash, specifically for the Kohanim, right? How can I do them? So that's the point that I want to say, that the Arizal explains that really we were also Kohanim. We did those mitzvot as well. Yeah? All of the different mitzvot that there is, whatever Hashem brings to you in this lifetime, so you have to do. But whatever Hashem doesn't bring to you, you don't have the possibility to do those mitzvot. So it means probably you already did them in previous lifetimes. Okay? So in other words, we have those parts within us. Right? If we've been once a Kohen, so we have part of our neshama that is Kohen. Okay? So that part of neshama can be in Bet HaMikdash. Kohen Gadol can be in Kodesh Kodashim. Moshe Rabbeinu can hear the voice from the Ben HaKruvim.
It's part of why we say the korbanot to
right?
To lighten the sparks of that mitzvah.
So as much as we're able to to awakening those parts within us and relocate them in their true location to fill their purpose. That is the degree of our prayer. Okay? Imagine yourself that you can pray the prayer of the Kohen Gadol in Kodesh Kodashim. What can be better than that? Right?
Yeah.
Maybe just Moshe Rabbeinu that is
You could see that it's
also
like
hearing the voice.
maybe you could hear it outside in the first temple. I'm sure you could even hear it wherever you were in Jerusalem or something. The same way you can smell the Ketoret and you can see the light of the menorah from
To hear the voice of Hashem between the Kohen, I don't think so.
No, the Kohen when he's praying inside the.
To hear the Kohen
Maybe.
when he's praying, I don't know. There was a voice that they heard, but it was not the Kohen Gadol. It was the person that wakes them up in the morning. Shacharit, Shacharit. Right? Says in Masechet Yoma. His name was Gibeon Nikros, right? We spoke about it. Yeah. He had a very strong voice. So,
Where was the menorah situated? Was it also in the?
also in Kodesh Kodashim.
Oh, it was also.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So how did they
Light
light it every day?
Yeah, if it was inside the Kodesh. You think
There is Kodesh and there is Kodesh Kodashim. That was in the Kodesh. That was like there is a curtain between the like there is the menorah and the Mizbeach Hazav and the Shulchan.
Okay.
That's like one part of the Kodesh Kodashim, and then there's a curtain, and then there's the Aron Kodesh. That's like the inner part of the Kodesh Kodashim.
behind the curtain.
Oh, so what in the highest point is called what, the
Kodesh.
Chodesh. So what was there?
The ark.
But before that was the.
Before that there's a curtain like parochet, and then before that there's like those items, menorah, the mizbeach hazav, the shulchan of the lechem panim, all of that.
So who was allowed to go in that area?
The Kohen Gadol and
Not only the Kohen Gadol, also Kohanim idiotot.
But regular people. What about
Not regular people, no, just Kohanim.
in the area of the menorah, or in the area?
The menorah and the shulchan of the lechem panim. Yeah.
The 50 people that are supposed to be able to supervise the sacrifice could not supervise what's going on inside of the.
No, that's in the outside
Right,
altar
so that's
of the
on the
mizbeach
outside.
nechoshet. Okay, the truth of the matter is that definitely there's a lot to discuss about each one of those items. It's not really our subject matter here. We don't have meditation for each one of those items here, but there is a place for that, and there's definitely meaning, a lot of meaning for each one of them.
So when we meditate the Kodesh question, we're going all the way to the height to where the.
That's where we want to be. That's
Right.
where we are directing ourselves. That's where we are like putting our desire, focusing our desire on. Yeah. How much we are really getting in depends in our soul, in our mind. But just even just to meditate on yourself in Azrat Israel, okay. Forget about the Kodesh Kodashim. Just to meditate yourself that you are standing in Bet HaMikdash. Bet HaMikdash is built. You are standing in Bet HaMikdash in Azrat Israel, and you're praying. You are midat there.
Wow.
In Azrat Israel in Bet HaMikdash. Yeah, that by itself is like huge, right? And it's possible, and it's brought down. It's not my idea. It's brought down. And the Noam Elimelech speaks about it. The Ramchal speaks about it. It was like big tzaddikim that for them that was like the way to pray. Yeah.
So the result is go straight to the Kodesh HaKodashim.
The result doesn't speak about Kodesh HaKodashim like in that aspect, in the Amidah. It speaks about like the Eichal of Kodesh HaKodashim, the walls of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah that I said before. Anyhow, we can discuss those points, Bezrat Hashem, in another time. But for now, I want to finish and to say that Bezrat Hashem, giving all of us the blessing to connect to the highest and to the most internal parts of our being, and the most holy parts of the creation, to be worthy to be there and to connect to them, and to do whatever is it that Hashem wants us to do there, to feel our function, to feel our purpose. B'ezrat Hashem. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen v'Amen.